What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I'm your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great weekend. It has been a very fast week, it feels like, but a draining week. So definitely enjoying the weekend. It was a torrential downpour here with some hail, wild weather. So quite the day here, but I hope you're all enjoying yourselves. I appreciate you tuning in, whether you're watching this live, watching this later. Would love to hear your thoughts on this one because I've been repeating this for a while now. And after the initial wave of free agency, the draft, and obviously we can continue to build this roster, and we'll do that throughout the offseason here, whether or not, it's cutting guys, signing guys, trading, whatever we need to do. But, I feel very confident about this team. So I'm going to touch on that here tonight. So I would love to hear your thoughts on this as I go through. We're going to talk about what the Eagles have here, the coaching staff, what the depth chart is going to look like, what this team I think will look like this year, and then current and future salary cap space. I got the cap space for right now. And then, of course, the next few years, and then the future draft picks the next 2 years. And then we'll talk about the free agents for next season. So telling you why exactly that I feel that the Eagles are building something special here. We just were in the Super Bowl last year. I know we lost, and it drives me insane. But the fact of the matter is we've got young coaches, young players, and we've got the best GM in the game. We've got the best owner, and we are going to continue building on what we have here. A foundation that is a championship foundation, in my opinion. And keep in mind the key dates here. I've been trying to keep you up to date. Next week on the 5th, 6th, and I believe the 8th here. Yep. So you've got the OTAs. Then you've got training camp last week of July. So I will keep you up to date, keep you entertained in between that. Then preseason in the beginning, middle-ish of August there. Then you see roster cutdowns at the end of August, and there's only one. So I'm very excited to see some of these other guys get more opportunity on the back end of the roster because this roster is loaded. And there are some positions where you could say, oh, yeah, this is definitely these guys are going to make it. But a lot of question marks at other positions. So we're going to dive right into this bad boy. But I appreciate each and every one of you again, and just want to give a big shout out to all of you who are tuning in. And whatever's on your mind, feel free to leave it down below. Appreciate you tuning in, my man, Jock Talk. Hope you are doing well. I am a drained old man, but happy to talk some birds with you here tonight. So ready to rock and roll. I'm doing well. Family as well. Hope you are well. William, I have a question. What do you think the Eagles spent compared to how much Eagles that left got? Wait. Would you do how much Eagles spent compared to how much Eagles that left got paid and see the difference? They all got paid massive amounts. I've been showing you guys, and I could tell you that here. And if you comment later after this video is over and remind me, I can find that number for you. But let's check out what's going on here. And obviously, the fact of the matter is the Eagles let those people walk because they were going to get contracts. That's why we drafted people last year. Looking at these things, this is what I do every offseason. We're looking at the future here. Who are going to be free agents? Why did we draft certain places? Why are we going to put an emphasis on whatever it may be? But let's jump right into this. Take a look at all the important things that you need to know. So again, anything on your mind here, get it out. But let's take a gander at what Nick Sirianni is building here on his coaching staff. We know a new offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, making it to the Super Bowl. That can happen at times, but you don't always see both coordinators. Rarely happens. So, hey, we're going to build on those things, I think. So, offense, Brian Johnson, Jalen Hurts, a very strong connection. I think that, the staff he is, building upon a lot of the same pieces, a lot of the key pieces we need here, and Singleton and Stoutland obviously back, but a lot of great, additions. And I think that this staff is just going to get better. Like, we're just going to build on what we had. We know what we need to do with Jalen Hurts. Run the damn ball with the best offensive line. Keep him safe. You've got weapons across the board. Very excited about the offense. I think it's going to be the best offense in the game. And then maybe, you're going to compete with the Chiefs there, but I think this offense is going to be fun to watch. Running, passing, all of it. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, a lot of questions about Desai, but we talk about another Fangio disciple. But they're all different. They all bring their own flavor, as we talk about. And I think this guy is the perfect fit for what Eagles fans are looking for and what this defense needs. And I think, we've talked about that, and I will, again, as I told you, the more I learn about his defense and things like that, we will break that stuff down. And look, this staff he's putting together, I know people feel a certain way about Matt Patricia, but it is what it is. He's a senior defensive assistant, whatever, dude. So he brings some Super Bowl caliber stuff, whatever, man, help some guys. Let's build on this damn thing. Let's get this defense smoking people. Let's have another top 3 defense here. And I think we definitely will be. I think we could break that sack record, 70 sacks last year, but we shall see. Now, the special teams unit, definitely a lot of questions in the return game, the punter, and some of it can fall on Michael Clay when it came to blocking, all kinds of stuff with the special teams last year. But he was brought back. A lot of people felt a certain way, but I like Michael Clay, and I think that he's going to do his best. Hopefully, we'll figure something out with the kick returner. Hey, I'm just trying to stay positive here, and I think that this coaching staff, you've got some young guys. Obviously, Desai has had an opportunity to be a defensive coordinator before, but still very young in the game. And same goes for Brian Johnson. Well, Brian Johnson, very young, and he gets an opportunity to be an offensive coordinator here in the NFL for the first time. And with his relationship with Hurts, the way that, he was part of this system last year and knows what we're looking for here, I'm pretty ecstatic about the coaching staff here. And I think that, they're good coaches. So maybe within a couple of years, you got to watch out again. These dudes, they can definitely, get plucked away by another team and be a head coach, or, they get offered more money with the opportunity to be the head coach, whatever it may be. I think, you see someone like Bieniemy going to Washington. He's probably going to step in as the coach once Rivera steps down. So you never know. But I think for the next couple years here, and if they do move on, you're going to have pieces in place. And I think that the Eagles are very well aware of that. We talked about that last year about Steichen and Gannon, and they're both gone. But both pieces that we added, love them. So very excited about that. And when you talk about who they're coaching, you lost all of these pieces. Oh, sure. CJ Gardner-Johnson and, Epps too. And then 2 starting linebackers in Kaiser White and TJ Edwards. And then, of course, Javon Hargrave. But we talk about the draft, free agency, what we were going to do. And man, you just plug and play right there, man. So let's take a look at this depth chart here. And these are all the pieces we have here, but I have them in, order of where they're at essentially, or where I have them at, whatever. But you can see here, starting off with the defense, you've got 12 guys here listed as starters because I wanted the nickel corner to be added, but I also want you to see the 5-man fronts. Now, you will see 4-man fronts with the nickel packages, all kinds of stuff. But I want you to understand the edge rushers on one side, the edge rushers on the other. They could be the Sam, they could be the Will. It's interchangeable. And, when you're looking at the interior guys, Jordan Davis is really the nose tackle here. The other guys will be rotating. Milton Williams will get his. Everybody will be able to come in and do their thing. Very excited about the depth we have here at all those positions. And you talk about linebacker, Nicholas Morrow, I think, is perfect for what we're trying to do, but there could definitely be question marks there. So if you want to add someone like a Patrick Queen, Devin White, not going to be mad at you. So totally understand that. At safety, I know people are skeptical there, but I like Blankenship at Edmonds, and I was, ecstatic when we got Sidney Brown. I could not stress enough how much I wanted to draft him. So excited about him, but Justin Evans, and look at all these guys. Greedy Williams in free agency, in the draft, Nolan Smith, and obviously Jalen Carter, as we mentioned, Kaylee Ringo, Ojomo. Street was added in free agency. You've got undrafted kids in Eli Ricks and Mekhi Gardner. Tristan McCollum was added right at the beginning of the offseason a few months ago. So we've got all kinds of different names in there. Everyone that is new to the team obviously is in green there. So you can see the new additions to this roster, a few new starters. Sure, we lost Hargrave, but I think Carter's the better fit, a brighter future. Very excited, way cheaper, like $20 million, almost cheaper. Then you look at Morrow here. Yeah, he's not Kaiser or TJ Edwards, but I think with that, the same thing with Kaiser. He had, experience with safety before. It's the kind of linebacker you're looking for, that hybrid guy, and I think he's going to fit in just fine. Now, Nakobe Dean was drafted to be the middle linebacker. He will be better than TJ Edwards. So excited about that. Bringing your trio of, the best in the league back at corner. Excited there. And then, you added in free agency and the draft, undrafted kids in the secondary is just, I really like it, man. I like, that there is competition for the back end at corner. The safeties, we don't know what's going to happen there, but I think all 3 of those top guys will get theirs. Justin Evans has starting capability. Kayvon Wallace actually did pretty well at the end of the year. So you've got competition all over the place here on defense. And, well, I'm very effing excited. And I, again, think they could break that sack record. Now, looking at the offense, dude, you lose Miles Sanders. That's pretty much, other than your right guard, obviously, that actually is pretty big, Sayamalu. And then you talk about, your backup left tackle, Andre Dillard, walking. So You lost some pieces on offense, but you trade for Swift. You add Rashad Penny. You added Mariota to replace Minshew. I think Zacchaeus is going to push Quez Watkins. Excited there. You got some undrafted kids that I'm excited to see at wide receiver there that are going to push some of these other guys. And then at tight end, brought some competition in Arnold, Brady Russell are here. So questions, but I think Stoll will continue to develop. Hopefully Calcaterra the same. And we'll see some good competition there. And, on the offensive line, Juergens and Steen going to be battling it out for that right guard spot. Very excited to see who wins it. Think it could be Steen, but you saw Juergens get the first shot at it the other day. Now, we'll see who wins by the end, but you've heard what I said. I think Steen should be the right guard. Anything were to happen to Kelsey, let's just have this kid already ready. Juergens can step in at center. Let's effing go. But you see here, I'm giving them both their chance there. And, if anybody else is winning a job, I will adjust this. But you can see this is why I think we'll be top 3 offense and defense. And then we just really need to get that third facet of the game, the special teams unit going. And, you bring in Zentner. So Sipos, he has some competition there. I love that. Let's hope Zentner steps it up here and shows us something. And then in the return game, I like Covey. I think if we block, he'll have some better success there. But a kick returner, Boston Scott's just kind of decent at it. He's not bad at it, but I'd like a home run hitter. Now, Rambo, Nada, Zacchaeus all have experience there. We brought in Cleveland and Ward. So we'll see if the Eagles want to upgrade there. If not, maybe someone in-house can get that done. But you can see why I think we're going back to the Super Bowl this year, and I think we're effing winning it. And not only that, but we're going to continue building on this roster. You know what I mean? So it's not like I just think we're a flash in the pan. Just like I said last year, when I predicted we go to the Super Bowl. I think we're going to continue doing that for years to come. Well, here's year 2, and I think we're going back again, and they can spin whatever narratives or talk about, in the history. We don't care. We're not any of those other teams. We have Jalen Hurts at the helm, Howie Roseman, Laurie, Sirianni. I'm excited about all of them. So winning assistants don't get head coaching jobs. But both losing team gets head coaching. Yeah, well, they were both hot commodities the year before that too. And we talked about this. They were going to be gone. And we knew that. They're pretty damn good coaches. So it is what it is, man. They made their mistakes, and we could be pissed off. But look, they got jobs for a reason. I'm excited about the guys that are moving in. Now, let's talk about that future, right? We've got the great roster, got some questions. So if we want to add somebody, we can do that this year. We could do something next year. If you lose guys, whatever the hell you want to do. So let's take a gander at that cap space. And I've got the list of notable cap hits, but I've also got the entire list, all 51. I know my man Drew will enjoy that, but wanted to show you these are all the guys that were either extended, restructured, re-signed, signed, drafted. You can see the draft picks are in green there. Now, the only thing that changed, I'm not sure what happened, but per OTC there, they had Terrell Edmonds at 1.94. Now it has been changed to 1.92. So we went up a couple 100,000 there. Let's go. 13.85 now. I'm all about it. And maybe some back end changed as well on June 1st. So whatever else happened, it's not 13.45. It is now 13.85 after June 1st there. So let's effing go. We've still got more. We've got more money than what we were talking about. And if you guys missed any of those shows, we talked about how you can trade for any of those players you guys are asking about. Patrick Queen, Buda Baker. There's go to the playlist on my YouTube, Show Me the Money, and you can find the top 35 names, and you'll see all their contracts, how the Eagles can make a trade for them, all that stuff. So we've definitely got the money if you want to make a move now. But let's take a look at the top 51 contracts. Now, this is how it works. Right now in the offseason, this is what the salary cap is consisted of. The top 51 cap. This is what I always talk about, but now you see it right here. Top 51 guys. That is what makes up the salary cap space that we have right now. Now, once week 1 begins, then all 53 of the guys, anybody on IR, all that stuff gets added into, well, maybe not IR, but the practice squad guys, anybody with the dead money, all that stuff. I will show you that stuff. But here you see this team, with 13.85 mil, they did pretty awesome. And you can see all of the names in green on this one are just the new players to the team. So everybody else, it was here the year before. And look, man, Howie put on a master class. Everyone that he signed under $2 million. So I mean, holy hell. And our top cap hit is under 15 mil. I brought that up a month or so ago when this happened with Lane Johnson. Like, that's pretty effing impressive by Howie Roseman to not even have a single player with a cap hit over $15 million. So that's all 51 of the guys you can see. And the last one is 988,000 in Marlon Tuipulotu. So if you were to trade for someone, sign someone, and they would just replace Marlon Tuipulotu. So if they had a $5-6 million cap hit, really, it would be a $4 or $5 million hit because you're just replacing it with Tuipulotu's million. So we got a lot of money, ladies and gentlemen. You could see all of the magic that Howie was able to do. I mean, look at that, dude. I mean, Mariota, Edmonds, Swift, all under 2 million. I mean, everyone is, but it's like Evans at 1.5, Greedy Williams 1.29, Street 1.28, Penny 1.23, Zaki. What? I just, oh my God, Howie, you are a freaking madman, and I love to see it. So you see that stuff, and then you'll get the negative Nancy's telling you, well, in the future, let me tell you. Well, let me tell you. You should probably understand how this stuff works because, well, we've all mapped that out and figured that out before we made these moves. Howie Roseman knows what he's doing, and he knows what kind of space he has, and he knows what kind of things will go into effect. So let's take a gander at that future cap space. So they want to tell you we don't have that money. Well, unfortunately, next year we've got 47.3 mil, the next 51 mil, and then after that, 93.8. So they can tell you whatever they want about Hurts. And look, a lot of things will happen. A lot of dead money, things like that from other players. Things will happen to this cap space. The cap will go up. They're talking about possibly 30 million next year. So these numbers will fluctuate. But I'm telling you, I'll stay on top of it, but I will continue showing you why the Eagles actually have money and can do their damn thing however they see fit. So let's effing go. Now, up next, if you want to trade any of those future draft picks, now you can only trade the next 2 years right now. When the draft starts next season, we will talk about that the next year because you can trade the 3 years in advance once that draft starts. So let's take a gander here, what we've got ammo-wise. So you've got next year's picks. You've got 2 second rounders. You don't have a 4th round pick, but you have like 5 5th round picks. So 10 picks in all. We're working with some magic there, and then 7 picks the next year. Once we get to 2026, we've got all 7 of our picks. We haven't messed with that yet. But you will have that next 3 years, but you can't do anything with that right now. Again, you will be able to mess with the next 3 years once next year's draft begins. But right now, this is what we have. This is what you could trade. 17 picks to do whatever the hell you want with. 2 first rounders, 3 second rounders, 2 third rounders. So, and no 4th rounders in those 2 years. But hey, look, how we really put on a masterclass another year this year, a fantastic draft. So, my God, Howie, keep doing your damn thing. So whatever they want to do, they can do it. And if they don't want to trade them, that's 17 picks the next 2 years. Keep that in mind with 2 second round picks next year. We had 2 first rounders this year. So this is why I feel so confident that we will continue. When pieces are gone, when things happen, we will continue building it. So next year, they're going to say the same thing when we lose some of these players, but we'll do the same thing right now and take a look at it before it even happens. And we'll see why we did certain things here. So on the offensive side of the ball, you see there's nobody really that important that you know. Obviously, these are all set up for a reason. Kelsey's got a void year in there. Mariota was signed to a 1-year contract. Penny, the same deal. Swift, we know that. And you will get certain compensatory picks if people leave in free agency. So we'll see how they do, what kind of year they have. But I think that obviously, clearly, there is there's some smart things done by Howie Roseman, and you're not taking on dead money in future years, but these are just some of the important ones. There are other back-end guys that will be free agents too, but they don't even affect the cap right now, so not even talking about them. But maybe someone like Jack Driscoll, now you see an asterisk next to anybody that is an exclusive rights free agent, so they essentially either sign back here or they just don't play. So Covey and Rambo, if they make the team, they could definitely be back next year. But on the defense, you see the dash there. That means that they have a void year. So you've got guys like Barnett, Cox, Graham that, possibly not coming back with, especially the way we drafted Nolan Smith being here, Jalen Carter. So I think there's a lot of telltale signs. And some of these free agents that were brought in, you are very well aware that, hey, this is, your interview essentially for a year that you get to prove to us you earned a long-term contract. So if the Eagles want to re-sign any of these guys, sure, they could. But the next year is not like this year was. We knew what was going to happen this year, but that's why we drafted the way we did. And now we've got those 17 picks. You could add a stud player if you wanted, because you can extend DeAndre Swift if you want. You've got Devontae Smith after this season that you can re-sign. So you've got things you want to do with your money, but I don't think free agency is going to be so much of a blow. You know, I think that a guy like Rick Lovato, you'll want to bring back. And it's going to depend on how some of these guys, you know, what they do this season. But look, man, this team, we're set up, man. Howie knew what was coming, and there's not really any kind of doom and gloom. Like Hurts extension isn't, you know, causing that money. You saw the future cap space. You saw the future picks. We've got 17. You saw the free agents. So there's nothing that tells me that this team can't continue. And one thing I continue talking about is Jalen Hurts is going to continue developing and progressing here. And I saw like today or yesterday, it was like breaking news. Jalen Hurts is going to get better. And it's like, yeah, dude, like, but I guess they're still stuck in what they were saying last year that he can't develop. So they're like all confused. And it's like, no, dude, he's going to be awesome. So MVP, let's effing go. Let's win it this time, baby. But let's, most importantly, win that effing Super Bowl. So Ringo, I'm sure he'll get his contract done here soon. So I'm excited that he's here too. A lot of Georgia Bulldogs in here. So very excited about that. But ladies and gentlemen, that's all I've got for you. I hope you see what I see. Dynasty season, baby. So I appreciate you all tuning in during this sicko season where we're all just getting by to the best of our abilities. But I'm going to try to be here tomorrow. Got some things planned. Not sure if I'll have one out, but next week we'll be back with OTA stuff. I'll be trying to do my best to keep you entertained throughout this off season. But if you're watching this later, you got anything on your mind, feel free. If you know you missed something, you had a question, whatever, you're watching this later, comment down below. I'll always get back to you. Always down to talk some birds. But that's all I've got. And until next time, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. If you got anything from this, do me a favor, hit that like button. You can always subscribe down below. But hopefully this weather clears up. We can enjoy the rest of this weekend. But hope you all stay safe out there. And as always, say it with me now. Go Birds!